Now we got to focus on this. So, here we go. Everybody is paying attention. Everybody has a calculator out. It is ridiculous that you can set stuff up and not type it in, and that is simply because you're not practicing. You're sitting there and letting everyone else do the work. You must participate. All right, so we are on practice test number 2, part 5, number 3. So we have a parallelogram. And the sides are 10 and 16. And the larger angle is 104. Now, if the larger angle is 104, what would the smaller angle be? 76. Very good. Why, Audie?
Because they're supplementary.
Exactly. Listen, he's even talking like a mathematician. They're supplementary. These guys add up to 180. Always. Right? Okay, so what do I want to know? The shorter diagonal. Now, look at your picture. This would be the shorter diagonal, right? I don't need that angle. That's not cut in half. I don't know anything about that angle. Forget it. I want to find the length of the shorter diagonal. The length of the shorter diagonal. So I'm going to focus on this triangle. Would you agree with me? And I want the length of a side of the triangle. This is X right here. So, to find the length of a side, I'm going to use the law of sines or the law of cosines.
Cosines.
Why, Ferris? You're right. Why?
Not a pair.
There's not a pair. So, important idea. To find a length of a side, you're going to use the law of cosines or the law of sines. As Ferris said, we do not have a pair in this triangle, so we're going to have to do cosines. And since the angle is 76, it goes out here like this. What then is going to go over here? X squared. The side across from the angle that you're using is what's over here all by itself. Now, what's all the stuff in the middle?
10 squared plus 16 squared minus 2 times 10 times 6.
He is exactly right. Did everyone hear that? Can you see that? Everybody got that? The law of cosines says whatever angle you're using goes out here, cosine angle. On the other side of the equal sign is that side squared. And then everything in the middle is one of the sides squared plus the other side squared minus 2 times those two sides times the cosine. Now, let's all type this in. So, 10 squared plus 16 squared minus 2 times 10 times 16 times cosine 76. Kids, just type it in. I think some of you are hitting equals or something. I don't know what's happening. Just type that in exactly the way it's written. Now, I got 278. Okay, now what's that though? That's x squared, right?
Yeah,
So I need to take that number right there and I need to square root it.
16.69.
I raised to the 1/2 power. That's the easiest thing for me to do. You can actually use the square root button. But if you use the square root button, use your second answer. Don't round it off and type it in because then you're going to have some error. And I will be counting off for round off error. In this problem, everyone should have exactly the same answer. So if you're not getting 16.69, then you're going to lose points. That's the only possible answer. Sometimes there's a little bit of wiggle room, but not this time. This is the answer, 16.69. And the unit on that would be centimeters. So the shorter diagonal is 16.69 centimeters. Any question about that? What do we got next here? We have a regular decagon. What does that mean?
10 sides.
10. So I gotta split this up. I think that's 10 into equal as I can pieces. Obviously I didn't do a very good job, but here we are. So I should have 10 of these triangles, right? What do I know about those triangles? I know all those
36
spokes I
degrees.
just drew are 15, right?
All 36 degrees.
Right?
They're all 36
And what, Caitlin, the central angle is?
36 degrees.
36. And how did you know that central angle was 36?
It's
360
360 divided by 10.
Exactly. There's 10 of them. There's 10 of those angles around here. And they're all together, they make 360. It's a circle. So they're each 36. Now I want the area. Now wait a minute. Area. That is not law of sines or cosines. Sides are law of sines or cosines. If I want area, I've got other strategies. How might I find the area of that triangle?
1/2
The
side,
area of the
side,
triangle is 1/2
side, side, side.
side times sine of included angle. Area, 1/2 side, sine. Area, 1/2 side, sine. The angle must be the included angle. Now, I can type that in. That's super simple to type in.
But then we
But you have to
multiply by
multiply by 10.
Exactly. That, the number on my calculator, which is 66, is the area of the shaded triangle, right? I want the area of the whole figure, so I'm gonna have to take that number and hit times 10, right? And so the area of my decagon is 661.26 square inches. Now that is exactly what you need to get, kids. Not close, exactly what you need to get. Anybody have a question about that?
You'll take off if we don't round it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. One more. All right, so we start off here with these simplify things where you have to know your memorization stuff.
Do we keep
So
the
take a
numbers?
look at it. Oh, I hear Piper back there saying, can you do the difference of squares? What do you think, guys? Can I factor that, the difference of squares?
Yes.
Absolutely. How would that numerator factor? That's the difference of squares. How would it factor?
3 plus sine.
3 plus sine and 3 minus sine. Once you have factored, you are allowed to cancel. In additions and multiplications, you cannot cancel unless you factor. Well, you factored, so now you can cancel. See it right there? So the answer to the problem is 3 minus sine. Is that okay with everybody? What about this next one? What do you think about it?
Fractions.
Okay, not cosine though, so that's cosine over 1 times cosine over sine. Now that's a plus. Watch it, watch it, watch it. That's a plus. Now, why does it matter that it's a plus? Can I cancel these?
No.
No. All I can do, I can't even cancel anything here. That's just cosine squared over sine plus sine over 1. Everybody agree with that? Now, there is no canceling, kids. You are not multiplying. If you were multiplying, you could cancel. You're adding fractions. What do we do when we have to add
Get the
fractions?
same denominator.
Get a common denominator. What will our common denominator be?
Sin x.
Sine. So this one has it already. But this one needs it. So I'm going to multiply by sine. So this will become sine squared over sine.
Does the top now turn into 1?
The top turns into 1 because when I combine those, now they have the same denominator, right? So now I can combine them. So I'll have cosine squared plus sine squared over sine.
Equals 1.
The reason you got a common denominator is so that you could write them as one fraction. So now I've written them as one fraction. But the numerator, as you all, hopefully, all have noticed, the numerator is
1.
1. And 1 over sine is cosine. Now, I know you guys don't necessarily love those problems, and I know they're a little tough. You're going to have 2 of them on your test. So you're just going to have to do your very, very best. You're going to practice some more Wednesday. The rest of the tests, though, come on. You need to get a grip on. Here we go. Some of these quizzes are atrocious. Alright, so here's the setup. And what do the directions say? Solve the triangle, yep. And what does that mean? When we say solve the triangle, what does that mean? Find all the letters, find everything that's missing. So take a look at it. What do you think we should find first?
Subtract the angles from
Yeah,
180.
let's find angle A.
80.
And what is it? 80. Angle A is 80. If we have 2 angles of a triangle, you can always find the third one really simply, right? Let's not make that complicated. Right, Max? Okay.
Do sine.
Now, let's look at the situation. We know we need the law of sines or cosines. Why are you saying sines?
Because you have a matching.
Because you have a matching set, that's right. So we're gonna use the law of sines. So we're gonna say sine 80 over 10 equals sine 47 over B, maybe? Now, could I have done sine 53 over C?
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, I'm gonna have to do that, right?
Mhm.
Next, so the order doesn't matter, jump in and do something. Okay, so B sine 80 equals 10 sine 47. That's just straight cross multiply. Now what am I solving for?
B, C.
So B is gonna
Divide.
equal 10 sine 47 over sine 80. Now, am I gonna second sign? No. When do I second sign? When you're finding an angle. I have all of my angles, so there will not be any second signing in this problem. I have all the angles. This is just type it in. So 10 sine 47 divided by sine 80. I got 7.43,
Yep.
and that's B. Now, we're not done. We still have another blank to fill in, right? We still need side C. So what does that setup look like?
Sine
You go back to sine 80 over 10, back to the original information, equals sine 53 over C. And then we'll cross multiply just like we did before. And divide by sine 80. I got 8.11. Any question about that? We had a quiz just like that, and you didn't necessarily do great, all of you.
How did I get 7.86?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know either.
Like 10 sine 53 over sine 80.
Let's get here for a sign in
I got the same thing.
Are you closing?
I did close the parentheses.
Is it, are you in degrees?
Yes.
because you have signs your problem.
Because you're multiplying instead of dividing, you didn't hit the divided sign.
Okay.
Divided by sine 80. All right, so now we are ready for another triangle to solve. Okay, so what's different about this guy?
Cosine.
This is not gonna be a law of sines problem, is it?
And 1/2.
Because we don't have a pair. We don't have a set. So we are not going to use the law of sines. We're going to have to use the law of cosines. Now, I heard someone say, let's do 1/2 18 times 23 times sine 42. You can absolutely do that. But what information is that going to give you?
Area.
The area. Does this question ask me for the area?
No.
No, so let's not get that confused. This is a beautiful setup to find area, but that isn't what you're supposed to be doing. Right now, you're supposed to be finding sides and angles, which means you need the law of sines and cosines. So, you said we're not going to do sines, so therefore, I guess I'm going to have cosine 42. And over here then will be what? Well, I'm going to say d squared, but yeah, it's your variable. It's your variable squared.
23
Yep, so then in the middle will be 23 squared
plus 18 times
minus
minus
2.
times 18 times.
Yep, and the order there doesn't matter. So let's remember it's side squared plus side squared minus 2 times side times side. All right, let's type that in. I got 237, and then I have to remember the square root of that, right? So 15.42. Everybody get 15.42? All right. Now I can do the law of sines, right? So I can say sine 42 over 15.42 equals sine f over 18, for example. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. What am I looking for here? What is this equation going to tell me? An angle. And the fact that I'm looking for an angle means at some point I'm going to second sine, right? This is going to be a second sine situation because I am looking for an angle. Does So I'm just gonna bring my 18 over. And just times both sides by 18. So sine F equals that.
No,
No.
second
No,
side.
second
Well,
sign.
sine F equals that, but F equals second sine all of this. That's exactly right. I'm gonna have to second sine that. And I think it's confusing some of you that you have a sine inside there. That's fine. That's fine. Type in second sine. 18 sine 42 divided by 15.42. I got 51.36. Did everybody get that? 51.36. Please type it in until you get that.
This is the one where I do this, where we're supposed to do the smallest one first,
Yep.
right?
That's why I did F. Everybody get 51.36? Alright. Now, I need angle E. See what I have right here though? So I'm gonna add those together and subtract from 180, and I got 86.64. Now that's the quiz you just took. That I just handed back. Everybody get why we started with the law of cosines? Okay. All right. Next, we got this section that says how many triangles are possible. Alright, so what do you think? Who remembers who remembers what's the answer to the question gonna be? 1, 0, 2, right? 0, 1, or 2? Right, so in the answer blank, you're gonna put 0, 1, or 2. You're not gonna put 52 degrees or something like that. It's gonna be 0, 1, or 2. How many triangles are possible? When you look at this triangle, your being alive should zero in on this right here, right? What's that a clue? Law of sines. So we'll say sine 58 over 6 equals sine C over 18.
Second sign.
And it's gonna be a second sine problem, right? It's gonna be a second sine problem, so sine C equals 18 sine 58 over 6. So my answer is going to be second sine all this. So second sine 18 sine 58 divided by 6. Whoops, I got an error.
0.
That means there are no triangles for that particular situation. Did everyone get an error? No main error, yep. This number's too big. So the second sign won't handle it. All right, let's try the next one. Now, are we gonna do the same thing?
Yes.
Yes, we are. We're gonna do the same thing 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Sine 62 over 19 equals sine C over 12? So we bring the 12 over.
Second sign.
And now I'll have the second sign all of this. So when I second sign that, second sign 12 sine 62 divided by 19. Oh, I got an answer this time. I got 30, let's see, I got 33.89. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So now what do? Immediately, I step over here and I say, okay, I started with a 62 and a 12 and a 19. One possible answer is 33.89. What would another possible answer be?
84.11. Yeah.
146.11. How do I get that second possible answer?
Subtract that.
180 minus the first one. I'm not looking for that angle, Max, which is the one you found. I want a second possible angle C, which is 180 minus the first angle C. The second angle C is 180 minus the first one.
Why is it like
Now,
Well, it's just math,
is
man.
that triangle possible?
No.
No. So this situation has one triangle as its answer. Now, the smarty pants in the back of the room have said, okay, I bet the next one has two. Remember, it might or might not, I don't know, but remember, if you don't show your work, you don't get credit. So you have to show the work, even though you think, oh, it's probably two, show the work. All right, does everybody understand why that triangle doesn't work? All right, let's look at the last one. So sine 45 over 17, sine C over 19. Multiply the 19 over, so 19 sine 45 over 17 equals sine C. Everybody's following along okay? Need a second sign? So second sign, 19 sine 45 divided by 17. I got an answer. I got 52.21. Right?
Yes.
So then immediately I say, okay, would it be possible to have a different angle C? Well, I don't know. If there is a different angle C, it's 180 minus the first one, so it would be 127.79. Now, can I have that in a triangle? Yes. So you were right when you guessed that this one had two triangles. You were right, it does. All three of those problems are done exactly the same way, right? Everybody got that? Audie? You got this? Okay, everybody done here? right, next we've got area. Now, the test is gonna have 3 area problems on it, and 2 of them are going to be super-duper simple. 2 of the problems are going to be direct applications of your new formulas that you have learned. So when I look at these 3 problems, do any of them appear super-duper simple to you?
Yes.
Which one seems simple to you?
B and C.
B and C.
C is not simple.
I mean, B, just A and B.
Yeah, A and B are simple. C is doable, but it isn't simple. It's gonna be a 2-step problem. This is a 1-step problem. We have all 3 sides of the triangle. So the area is going to be that big radical, Hero's formula. That's gonna be how we're gonna find the area of this triangle. All right, do you remember? How many numbers go under the radical? 4. You remember what those 4 numbers are? What's the first one? This is important.
Semi-perimeter.
The semi-perimeter. That's half the perimeter. So what is your perimeter? Add these up. 22?
Yes.
So what goes here?
11.
11. Do not use 22 for anything. You need to get 22 and then cut it in half and you're done with 22. Because these guys are all going to be 11 minus.
2.
So 11 minus 9,
2.
11 minus 6, 11 minus 7. Don't use 22 for anything.
Does the order matter?
No.
Divided by 2.
And then you just type them up and take the square root. I got 20.98. Does that look about right?
Yes.
Everybody okay? You should not miss that question, right? We got that? Now this one is this might even be easier. How do we find the area of this one? Yep, area equals 1/2 side times sine of included angle. 1/2 side, sine. Ooh, I got a big number. I got 649. Oh, that's, wait a minute.
64.4.
Yeah, I multiplied by 5 instead of 0.5. So that's 64.95. 64.95. Is that okay with everybody? Okay, now, this one, your test is gonna have one like this. What's wrong with that?
Doesn't have another side.
We don't have enough sides to find the area, right? Because we either need all 3 sides or we need 2 of them. So if we only have 1 side, we are going to have to find another one before we can find the area.
Once you find that side, can you use either 58 or
It
67?
depends which side you find,
Okay.
because the angle has to be between the 2 sides that you're using. So if you find this side, you're gonna have to use 58.
Okay.
If you find this side, you're gonna have to use whatever that angle is.
Okay.
So I know what that angle is, don't I? Can I find that angle? So that's a 55, so I can go ahead and fill that in. If I want to, I don't absolutely have to have it right now, but
You're
Yeah.
gonna do,
it makes 0 difference which side you find, you guys, okay? So pick one. I'm gonna find
Little
L. Alright, if we wanna find L, we'll say sine 67 over 15 equals sine 58 over L. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Again, you could find whatever side you wanted. Alright, so we'll cross multiply. L will equal 15 sine 58 over sine 67. Am I gonna be second signing here?
No.
No, I got all my angles. I'm just gonna type it straight in. So 15 sine 58 divided by sine 67. I got 13.82. They get that one right?
Yes.
Now, once I made that decision to find angle, or excuse me, to find side L, once we decided that's the side we were gonna find, now we have these two sides. So we must use angle 55. Does that make sense to you? Because you must use the angle that is between the sides. And since these are the two sides, I will be using that angle. So my area is 1/2 15 times 13.82 times sine 55. Would everybody agree with that? Now, we decided to find out, could we have found M? Yes, and if we had found M, then we would use angle 58. So your area should have been 84.91. Does that look right? Don't let me mess up, is that right? Okay. I think this test is pretty easy, except for those first couple problems. Magnus?
Second sign, because I got 87.
Okay, I only second sign if I'm looking for an angle. Magnus, I have all my angles, right? There's no second signing. I only second sign if I need an angle. All right, so here we go. Draw a picture. You get points for the picture. You get points taken off if you don't write a picture. So please draw a picture. We have a parallelogram. And the sides are 14 and 18. And the larger angle is 124, which automatically makes the other angle what? 56. Because we know in a parallelogram, adjacent angles are supplementary. Now, what do I want? The length of the shorter diagonal. So that would be this one, right? Let's get rid of that angle. I want to know the length of the shorter diagonal. Don't do 1/2 side, side, sine. That's not length, that's area. What am I going to do to find length?
18 squared, 15 squared.
I'm going to do the law of cosines. So if that whole picture is confusing you, ignore that part. You got a triangle. So x squared, cosine 56. And then in the middle, we've got, like
14 squared plus
Lydia said, we got all that. You with me, peeps? We already did one like this today, so hopefully it's not too confusing.
Okay.
What's the matter, Max?
No, I just forgot something. I had like a lapse or something.
happens sometimes. So what do we end up with? 15.43. And these are word problems, we have to put units on inches. So 15.43 inches. All right, question number 2. Same parallelogram. Larger angles 124. And we want to find the area. What's your plan on that one? You gotta put a diagonal in, right?
Yep.
Now, does it matter which diagonal we put in? No? No, doesn't matter. So which one do you wanna put in, the long one or the short one? Long one. If we put in the long one, then we're gonna be using angle 124. Right? So here we go. Area equals, we're doing area, right? So area equals 1/2 14 times 18 times sine 124.
Mhm.
$104. Is that my answer? Watch it. What's
Yeah.
this the area of? That's the area of the triangle.
Times 2.
So I got it times by 2. So the area of my parallelogram is 208.92 square inches. Jordan, you got this?
Yeah, I got it.
Everybody understand why we times by 2? Everybody good? Alright, now we got a regular octagon. What's octagon mean? 8. Here's our regular octagon. Inscribed in a circle with a radius of 22. So all those are 22s. I'm gonna look at this triangle right here. Oh, whoa, whoa, wait a minute.
It says perimeter.
It says perimeter.
So you need cosine.
Okay, so wait a second. Perimeter. I need perimeter would be like this, right?
Mhm. So you just
So
on the
I
sides.
need to find out how long that is. Law of cosines, exactly. Kids, when you want to find length, it's sines or cosines. And this is going to be cosines because don't I know this angle?
Yes,
How big is it?
45.
45, and you got 45 because you took 360 divided by 8? So the law of cosines is going to have cosine 45 x squared, and then 22 squared plus 22 squared minus 222, 22. It's a lot of 2's.
I'm too confused.
Oh, Max.
No, trust me, I had to hit you with that.
Can I pay half of my debt right now?
He's got a quarter on it.
No.
He has one.
I'm gonna lose it.
Okay, well, hang on. Give it to Audie to hang on to.
Well, this is Audie's quarter, he gave it to me.
All right, I got 283 when I type this in, but what do I have to remember?
You have to
Multiply.
You gotta put it to the 0.5 power.
Oh,
Exactly, I gotta take the square root.
yeah.
So this is 16.84. Now I'm not gonna use that number though, I'm using what's on my calculator. I'm gonna take what's on my calculator and I'm gonna times it by 8. Right?
Yes.
And my perimeter then is 134.70 centimeters.
I did something wrong.
We've never done a perimeter before, does that make sense to you?
For number 4, do we have to draw another picture, or can we just use
You
the
can
same
use the
picture?
same picture. If for the ones that use, like, number 4 uses number 3, you don't need to redraw the picture. You can use the picture for 3.
So we didn't have to redraw the picture for 2 either.
You didn't absolutely have to, no, except I erased half my parallelogram, but yeah. Yeah.
What's you got here, 16.84, what did you do?
I times by 8, but I didn't times 16.84, I timed the decimal on my calculator.
Okay.
I don't round it off, I just hit times 8.
What?
Because it's an 8-sided figure, and I found one side, by doing all this, I found one side, and then I times it by 8.
Okay.
And then the last one says, find the area of that. Well, like you've already pointed out, once we have done all that, finding the area is easy. The area of the triangle will be what?
1/2.
1/2,
22.
22, sine 45.
Yes.
Times 8.
And then to get the octagon, we'll take the area triangle times 8. So 1/2 times 22 times 22 and sine 45 times 8. I got 1,368.96 square centimeters.
Oh.
Oh,
Is that what you got?
yes.
Is it wrong if you don't show where
Bo, you okay?
it's for?
Yeah, I got bloody nose.
You need to go to the nurse?
No, I'm good.
It's gonna be wrong if you don't show where.
Yes. I mean, I expect to at least see this. All right, so we just took the entire test. Okay? So, of all the problems that we just did, we did a couple of them twice today. Which one are you gonna miss tomorrow, or Thursday? Which one are you gonna miss?
Definitely the first two.
How many possible times?
All right, so I heard 2 things.
Yeah.
So let's start. You'll get one of each done. So the question is, how many triangles are possible?
2.
And the other one is, all right, so here we go. How many triangles are possible? So how do I start?
Law signs.
Law signs. So sine 53 over 14 equals sine C over 16.
Yes.
So I'm going to move the 16 over here. And since I am very clearly looking for an angle, I am going to second sine. So second sine 16 sine 53 divided by 14. I got an answer.
65.88.
Yes. Now, as soon as I got an answer, I need to ask myself, could there be another answer?
Yes.
And if there is another answer, it would be 114.16. Or 12, I mean, I'm sorry, 12.
Yeah.
114.12. Is it possible for there to be a triangle that has those angles in it?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Doesn't that make less than 180?
Yes.
So the answer to this question is, how many triangles? 2. Because both of them work. Audie, I just did that problem for you and you weren't even paying attention. Now, the second kind that somebody said they thought they might miss was one of these simplify ones. And there's all different kinds of those, but here's one kind of them. The top equals secant squared. There is a certain amount of memorization that you have to know. And one of the things you have to know is 1 plus tangent squared is secant squared. So we have secant squared over secant, which we can cancel, and our answer is just secant. You don't stand a chance on that problem if you haven't memorized that 1 plus tangent squared is secant squared. All right, when you come on Wednesday, we will review one more time. We'll do some random practice problems. And your test is Thursday.